Let's learn how to make this awesome retro CRT screen effect in After Effects. Before we dive in, the look we're making today is one from my new retro monitor preset pack, the Matrix preset. You can grab it for free from the link in the description, and if you want the rest, the full pack is yours for a lot less than you'd spend on a CRT plugin. To create this look, let's begin by adding a new adjustment layer that we're going to call CRT. The first effect I'm going to add is a Venetian blinds. It's going to give us these lines that kind of mimic pixels in a screen. And let's reduce the width to about 6 and the feather to 0.5. Next, I'm going to add a mosaic effect, stylize mosaic, put it on top, important. And let's set it to about 288. Yep. I'm going to add a Natic grain, also on top of Venetian blinds, and set it to final output and just go to color and toggle monochromatic. Next, we're going to create the scan line effect, as in the line that goes top to bottom infinitely. It just loops over and over. To create that, we're going to add a CC light sweep, also on top of Venetian blinds. And we're going to make this 0 degrees, 90 degrees, sorry, and turn it black. Set it to composite. And we're going to reduce edge intensity and thickness to 0. We're going to make the width 150 and the intensity, we're going to set it to 20. All right, so to make the animation of the scan line going from top to bottom, we're going to first place it on top of the composition, something like that. We're going to keyframe the center and let's just say go 1 second forward and then move it to the bottom. Now, this should give us that animation. Maybe make it 1.5 seconds. Seems a little too fast. That's perfect, I think. And so now, how do we make it go on forever? We could just keyframe it, yes. Just copy and paste infinitely, but there's a way more efficient way to do it, and that's by adding an expression to these keyframes. And for that, I'm just going to click the stopwatch while holding Alt. And I'm just going to add a very simple expression that is loop out and open and close parentheses like that. What this is going to do is just loop these two keyframes forever. So what we got now is an infinitely looping scan line. All right, let's continue by adding a posterized time effect. And what this is going to do is create that vintage older screen look by reducing the frame rate. And so let's just add this. And this is up to you to decide, but I like 18 FPS. Next, I want to make the screen flicker. You always see this in older screens. There's some kind of flicker to them that looks kind of cool. So I'm going to add an exposure. Put it on top of Venetian lines. And I'm going to put an expression on the exposure value. And that expression is just going to be wiggle, open parenthesis, 240, comma, 0.2. And so what this is going to do is it's going to change the exposure parameter by 0.2 units, 240 times per second. And so naturally what this does is create this flicker. This is looking a lot more interesting now. Next, an important part of the look is we're going to add a curves effect. And in my preset, I go for a more greenish tint because it's matrix inspired, right? So we're gonna give it that green kind of hue, kind of tint. And for that, let's just first, before we touch any of the colors, kind of mess with the shadows and the highlights a little bit. And I'm just gonna create a nice little curve, bring up the shadows and bring down the highlights a little bit, kind of to simulate this like suboptimal image quality from older monitors. And next, to mess with the colors, let's just set this to green. And I'm going to click around here in the middle and I'm going to slightly raise the green. Around this seems optimal. And then I'm going to go to the reds and I'm going to bring them down a little bit. Just very subtly, very minimally bring them down. Then go to the blues and do the same. Just a little bit. Now we get this much cooler, like sophisticated look with greens popping out. I set it to full to appreciate it better, and that's looking pretty good already. But at the moment, it's just missing something, right? It's just too dark. Yeah, when you look at OLED monitors, they're usually like overexposed, brighter than they should be in some parts and darker than they should be in others. And so to make this happen, let's just add a glow effect. Let's just look for it. A bunch of plugins, man. Okay, and now let's reduce the threshold to 35. Increase the radius to 35 as well. And I'm going to lower the intensity to, I said, to 0.3. And yeah, that looks a lot better in my opinion. The next part to this is to add another exposure effect. And I'm just going to set it to, let's try 1. Yeah. All right, that's looking amazing. Next, I want to create that curvature that these older screens have, right? And for that, I'm going to add optics compensation. And we're actually going to put this below Venetian blinds so that they are affected by it. And let's set it to 30. And there it is. It's actually pretty easy. Let me mess with it a little bit. This is up to you also. So whatever you like best will do. 35 looks good. And as you can see, we get some black borders, which is not great unless you like them. So to fix them, we have a couple options. We could add a motion tile effect and mirror the edges. I don't really like that. So I'm just going to add a transform and set it below our optics compensation and increase it to, let's see what works, 110 maybe. I think 108 is going to be the number. And finally, to finish it up, I want to add some vignette to it, just to make it a little more textured and stark. And let's just set it to 125 and 25, 35. Okay, yep, that's it. I'm just going to preview this and let's see what we got. I mean, that's looking so good. That's looking great. So yeah, that's it for this tutorial, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the preset if you got it. And remember that if you want more presets that are just as awesome, if not better, you can get the preset pack from the link in the description. See you in the next one.